Father in heaven, bless us as we gather today for this meeting. Guide our minds and hearts so that we will work for the good of our community. Teach us to be generous in our outlook, courageous in the face of difficulty, and wise in our decisions. Thy will be done. Amen.
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 I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We now open the Hancock County Commission regularly scheduled meeting. It is February 20, 2013, which is rescheduled from the 21st. Thank you all for your being there with us. Do we have any citizen presentations today? Anyone like to come and make a presentation to the County Commission? Would you please come up to the microphone if that's what you want to do?
Was somebody else going? No, okay.
State your name and purpose, please.
My name is Karen Hickok. I live on Hardins Run Road in New Cumberland, and I am here today to show pictures. I actually spoke yesterday and was here yesterday. We have a problem at our home. There's trees in the creek that have been damming up the water. There's erosion from the banks and debris in the creek. Part of the problem here is the property is owned by neighbors of ours who, I gotta say, do not like us and have been suing us in this county for over 12 years now. They're using these trees to dam up the creek to flood my mother-in-law's home and our home. I've been here in the past and had complained about this, and nothing's ever really been taken care of. Mr. Jones, Emergency Management, has been out a couple times. The first time he came, he looked and he said, yes, there seemed to be a problem there, although it wasn't an immediate threat and won't be until we get a wall of water to come down that creek. And it has in the past. And then nothing had ever really happened. Then probably a year or so has went by, and he came back out and had changed his mind and said, well, really, you know, there's not a whole lot you're going to be able to do about this, and we can't get rid of those trees because they belong to these neighbors. It's occurred to me that the neighbors are represented by many pennies, many penny law offices, as we all know, and by the newspaper, is now suing the court here. Not the court, but commissioners and the commission. I believe he's protecting these people. Everyone knows there's a problem there. This lawsuit has become infamous in Hancock County. I also have just recently found out that another person on down the road from us has actually had trees removed. His house is probably, I'm going to guess, maybe 250, 300 feet away from the water. My mother-in-law's house is about 25 foot. For the life of me, I can't understand why this would work for this gentleman, but will not work for us. I brought pictures. You can see. Pictures don't lie. And if you don't...
I'd like to see those pictures. So what you're basically saying is the trees that are in the creek.
They are in the creek, and what is
that above you? It's above you?
It's actually, it goes, the people next to us, they have, there's like a V, and it comes right into almost to where our house is. And that property is actually owned by them. There is a bridge across there, which is my only vehicular way in and out, is on this bridge. This bridge is so important to these people. They're wanting another $20,000 from my husband and I for another 1.5 feet of property they want to rent to us to come across that bridge. I can't understand why these people are not down here complaining, just like I am, about getting rid of these trees, since they are so close to that bridge. I'm thinking the only reason why they are not here complaining like we are is that's what they want to happen. They want to flood us out. They want to flood out my mother-in-law, who I may add is bedfast. If a wall of water does come down there and starts flooding, we have no way of moving her without an ambulance.
Ms. Pickock, you said they did this on purpose? They cut these trees down?
Oh, no, the trees are actually growing there, Mike.
Oh, okay.
They're growing there. And before, when I
And it's
talked...
on their property that the
Yes, it
trees
is.
are growing?
But it's actually right in front of our home.
Are there any fallen trees?
Well, yeah, every time there's a lot of water that comes down there, you're getting everything. I've seen such steps go down the creek, other logs. The other gentleman that I spoke about was at our house a while back, and he said, well, my God, Karen, he says, no wonder I don't have no big stones or rocks or anything down there by my house. He said, they're all up here. I'm like, yeah, you're not kidding me. This needs to be dredged. And when I spoke about that before, I don't think anybody here had the knowledge of knowing that that creek has been dredged before. I believe the pictures are actually dated there in 1996 is when that took place.
So these are the trees you're talking about right here.
Yes, and if you look from the other angle there, you'll see how much that has filled in with, as Jeff spoke about, erosion from the bank. And if you also look there, the state of West Virginia, back in '96, they came in and they put these big rocks. They stuck them up underneath a rock ledge there that this bridge comes across on. Well, them rocks didn't stay there. Half of them rocks came out and are now in the middle of the creek. And of course, then some of them, went on down the creek. But these rocks is actually what held everything together and got everything all backed up right there. And now we have the trees growing up in these rocks.
This is downstream or from your house? I know where you live.
Mm-hmm.
It's towards...
You'll see where that bridge is.
15 feet from the bridge.
And as I put it out, Mr. Moneypenny, and of course this is all my opinion of this. Take that into note. Nothing's been taken care of about this because everyone knows here that Mr. Moneypenny, this is his secretary. She must write out things to send to this commission, then turns around and sends the very same paperwork to our attorney, Steve Recht.
Just for the record, I've never received any kind of paper or any kind of anything from them. I have not. I don't think this commission has.
On this
Okay.
particular issue?
Oh, no. I mean about out here at the magistrate's office and the fencing and keep out and all that. It's actually the very same thing, and that became evident to me when I saw the front page of the newspaper, and you had the same type of signs and fencing material that we had on our driveway.
Gentlemen,
Can I ask
Okay.
one more question?
Sure.
You said you mentioned your legal counsel, your attorney.
Steve Recht.
What's his position on this? I mean, is he giving you guys any guidance?
We're going to be guided right on down to the Supreme Court, Mike. Couple months from now, that's where we're headed to with all this. Our next door neighbors there, the Parkses, have no intentions of settling anything. That seems to be how it's operated with the Moneypenny law offices, at least in my book and in our situation. This is how. They have no intentions of settling anything. Everything we've ever did, my husband and I, has been to comply with these people. Everything short of giving them more money, which we have no intentions. I have no clue what the commission's going to do.
Tom, I'd like for John Paul, I know that's not the favorite thought here, I'd like for John Paul to go back out there again, take some pictures for us, and report back to this commission at the next commission meeting. He should be here at the next commission meeting, report back on this issue. Curtis?
And the biggest thing about that is, as soon as you get a big log come down right behind Basil's house, which is a tree about 40 feet long, it's already down in the water. When it comes down in wedges where those trees are against my baskets, that's when it's going to back up. It's going to come up so fast, I'm not going to be able to get it out of there with my machine because I'm not allowed down there because, like I say, it's next to the front, where I can remove it. But it's going to back up so fast, I'm not going to be able to help my mom when it shuts down her furnace, if it's in the middle of the winter, she's gonna freeze to death.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna sit back and see that.
Curtis, is it the trees that are
The trees are
it's
out in the
those are
middle.
little trees that in the
erosion
picture?
come down in the water, the dirt is washed out like it's
Yeah, the
like an
water-
island in a creek, okay?
That creek was cleaned out in
And then the
96.
trees are growing through that.
Right, exactly. There's a whole group of trees, and they've got bigger and bigger, and they're getting bigger and bigger. Well, right now, they're through my telephone lines. First, as soon as the leaves comes out, and they start swinging, it's gonna take my lines down. I know what's gonna happen. Then here I am without a phone. Now I gotta go call to have somebody come fix my phone lines. I've got, you know,
And speaking of our attorney, Mike, Curtis and I have been very fortunate and to run into somebody like Steve Recht, who is probably the kindest, most decent attorney that I personally know of. Steve has asked these people and directed Mr. Moneypenny to try and get rid of these trees and do everybody there a favor, you know, benefit everyone there. They're not looking to benefit us in any way possible, as per our visit to the Supreme Court over a right-of-way issue, which I'm sure you'll find out.
But I'd like for Mr. Jones to go out there and get some pictures and come back and talk and see what can be done about that. Then report at this next commission meeting, you want to talk about that. Is that fine with you, gentlemen?
Get some property line value, I mean,
We can definitely do that. I'll talk to Rebecca after the meeting. We'll get her started on a game plan and
I
bring
think
it back
Mike's
to
right,
the
get some
commission.
property lines there too, get something from the
see where
assessors.
we're at.
Tom, Rebecca, you may know this better than I do. If there's some imminent danger there, we could get a permit, could we not, through West Virginia Soil and Water Conservation, to allow us to go in, or allow us to hire someone to go in to clean that out? Okay.
We have a tree removal service now that contracts when we have problems within Kings Creek, and this would be no different than Kings Creek.
On private property?
On private property, we have to have the property owner's permission in order to do so.
they can go in on my mom's side though and take them out.
Okay.
Because her land's right beside right where they're at.
Right, that's all we need where the
There's just a
boundary,
line
that
between
line
where the
is,
trees
that's
are.
gonna be critical, I
There's,
think.
there's a spot right there, you pull that frame back right at them, take them right out.
When I spoke to him downstate, Mike, they informed me that no one is allowed to dam up the creek. Whether, you know, you got some old tires you threw down there, or you got trees, or whatever, nobody is allowed to dam up the creek. And that's exactly what has taken place here. And these big rock that you see right there, like I said, we didn't put those rocks there. The state of West Virginia put them rocks there, which I'm sure they thought they was going to stay there. Well, guess what? They did not, which is really what has got all this initiated.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank
Good.
Thank you.
Oh, thank
And
you.
we'll have someone here at the next meeting. If you
All
guys
right.
want to come back, or if you can't, we'll let you know.
Okay.
All right? Anyone else to address the commission today? Having not, we'll go to correspondence. John Brown, Executive Director of Brooke Hancock Jefferson, requesting a Hancock County Commissioner attend their monthly meetings. Move to make that a matter of record.
So moved.
All in favor signify by aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Thomas DiCaprio, Attorney Frankovich and Anatakis. Notice a successor trustee sale encourages attendance at sale to protect the county's interests. In your packets there, we have a via certified mail to Hancock County, according to David S. McCartney and Christina M. McCartney. Trustee sale scheduled March 11, 2013. The deed of trust, which Northern Hancock Bank and Trust Company is foreclosing upon the superior lien position to the deed of trust in the Hancock County Commission. The only issue I think we have there is, I don't understand what our, you know what our legal responsibilities are there, Counselor?
No responsibility. If you want to protect your lien, you would have to outbid whatever is owed to Northern Hancock Bank and Trust if you're the next in line in priority of liens. But I have no idea what that lien would be or how much you'd have to pay.
But isn't that 10,000 the amount that they received from the first time homeowners?
And you take a second deed of trust on it, which is dissolved after they've owned it for so many years.
5 years, yeah.
Okay. Move to make that a matter of record?
That's fine. Any discussion? No. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. County Commission, approval of Tamara Pettit to serve on the Northern Panhandle Community Criminal Justice Board.
So move.
Any discussion? I'll ask Mr. Schwarzman to recuse himself on this vote since you are a relative of this person, so I'd ask that.
Correct.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Let the record show that Mike Schwarzman did not vote on this. Approval of an order for the demolition of properties located at 506 Jefferson Street, map G29, parcel number 251, Knoll, Hancock County, West Virginia, Grant District, map G29, parcel 251, legitimate ID 500 Jefferson Street.
I'll move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of a bid for concession agreement for the Kennedy Marina. I'm going to let Mr. Davis speak on this.
Gentlemen, what we're going to do here, in the past, the Kennedy Marina has been operated under the direction of Parks and Recreation. There's been some changes that's taking place and will continue to take place within the operations of the Park and Recreation. It's come to the commission here, and we've discussed it on several occasions, what our interest is and what our intent is on staying involved in running Kennedy Marina. Kennedy Marina can certainly be a full-time position. The commission doesn't have the time or the ability to man this as it needs to be manned pretty much on a 24-hour basis. And neither does the employees at the Park and Recreation or the board themselves. So we've decided to bid out the concession part of Kennedy Marina. And I'll be happy to read the bid here if you choose to. But basically what we're looking to do is bid out the concession at the marina at a minimum of $2,000 per month, $24,000 annually. We're looking for bidders who will submit a development plan in the operations of the marina, and hopefully look at reinvesting their profits, some of their profits, back into the marina. The commission has done a lot of upgrades there throughout the years. We plan on continuing to help the function of the marina. In saying that, do you have any questions for me?
Mr. Davis, that would include the camper space rental, correct?
Yes.
Boats going in or jet skis, whatever that is. They run a small store there, I believe, and I believe they store and camp parkers there or pieces of equipment there on that property, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a little bit of history on that. That was always done up until 1997. It was done by another couple, and then after 1997, we let the Park and Recreation take it for a period of years, and now we're going back and putting it out for bid. That's the only questions I had. Mr. Schwarzmiller?
Looks great to me.
Having no other questions, I'll accept a motion to approve that.
So move.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of Hancock County Parks and Recreation bylaws, and this is from a meeting they held January 30th on a Wednesday, January 30th. I believe Cindy was at that meeting. Do you remember?
They also met last Wednesday also. They had 2 readings of their bylaws.
Okay. And the bylaws are right here in your packets, and there's been some changes. I think this just clarifies everything.
Yeah, according to their charter, you guys are supposed to sign off on their bylaws, which I don't believe has happened before, so.
Move to approve the bylaws as presented by the Park and Recreation Board.
Any discussion on it? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval to advertise for interested parties to the Hancock County Parks and Recreation Board. I believe at one time we had 12 members for that board. I think we're down to about 5 or 6 now.
Tonight.
You have some openings. There's 3 slots or 4 slots in each magisterial district.
Okay.
3. 9-member board, 3 from each.
Oh, okay.
9
Yeah, it's
may have been at one time,
Okay,
but
it's 3
currently.
members then.
Yeah.
We're looking for 3 members?
3 members from each magisterial district. Currently, there's 5 active members that would like to be reappointed, but their terms have all expired.
So we need 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we can go over that at the meeting, after the meeting, to see which ones. I think there's one from Grant, Butler, Clay, one of each. But
Yeah.
we can review it and put it in the advertisement for any.
The way that they really all need to be redone, even with the ones that want to still be on it because of the terms. Some of the terms have actually lagged. So, but there are 3 from each.
Okay.
I'll accept that motion.
So move.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of grass bid packages to be advertised. They're in your packet there for Hancock County Senior Center, Flats Cemetery, 3 Springs Drive Cemetery, Kennedy Marina and Campground, and Laurel Harlow Park. Package 5 is Laurel Harlow Park, Clark Field, Lawrenceville Park, Crestview Park, west side of Route 2 across from Rockefeller Vocational Tech Center.
Question?
Yes, sir.
What about our newly acquired properties? The 2 ball fields? Should we have put that in the bid packets? Because, you know, the sun's going to shine here sooner than later, then, you know, that grass is going to start to grow. So should we add a 6th package?
Dennis and I did have some brief discussions, because he's the one who put the, Dennis is the one who put the packets together.
Okay.
And our thought was, being that demolition will be taking place in these two facilities in the near future, hopefully they'll be well underway and maybe even completed by the time the grass season starts. Once that occurs, then we'll go back and look at bidding for those if necessary, if our grounds people can't take care of them ourselves.
On those 2 fields, just to bring you guys up to date, I would hope to have, for our next commission meeting, a bid for a portion of the Weir High field, the stands on the visitor side. I'd like to put up for bid, and some railing from the home side. And then by the 1st of April, we would have the bids up for demolition of all of the property, or buying. So what I'm planning on for the first meeting in March is either demolition, to come in and take it for whatever reason, scrap or reuse or whatever, for that whole side on the Weir High visitor section. And we've been to both fields and looked at that, so on that right-hand side coming in, the visitor side. And then by the 1st of April, all the rest of it up everything to be taken down. I'll accept the motion to accept the approval of grass bid packages, to put them out there.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Tabled, approval to change the cemetery policy to restrict burials to Hancock County deceased residents and those who have family buried in a cemetery. I'll accept the motion to bring it off the tabled.
So move.
It's brought off. Gentlemen, anything to bring forward on this? Anything to bring forward on this? Having nothing, we'll just leave it there. It will go off the agenda. County Clerk, requesting approval for the request of the City of New Cumberland to use poll books and 5 metal voting booths for their May 14th, 2013 election.
So move.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Approval of exoneration orders.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by
Too
saying.
fast, I can't keep up with you.
Copy off me like you did in high school.
Almost failed high school.
Yeah, well, both of us.
Forgive me.
That's right. Sorry about that. Approval of exoneration orders. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. General county bills, Cindy.
$10,778.10. The P card payments was $215,209.56, and that was all the funds.
Move to approve.
We're using the P card.
Using the P card, okay. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Oakland PSD bills.
There are none.
Approval of fire allocation bills and requisitions.
There are, okay.
And you got that letter today from the city of Weirton asking for their $44,000, correct?
Yeah, they had carbon copied me on that, and I had also taken care of that.
Okay. Approval of library levy fund bills and
They're
requisitions.
okay.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of animal shelter levy fund bills and
I have
requisition.
one requisition here in the amount of $8,442.42 for them.
Move to approve.
Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of sheltered workshop bills and requisitions.
They're okay.
Move to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Approval of the Hancock County Commission minutes for January 2013.
Move to approve as presented.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Go
The
ahead.
fire allocation bills, there's no motion on it to approve. They were okay, but I need a motion.
We didn't do that?
No.
See, I told you going too fast.
I'm
Move
sorry.
to approve.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. All right, all in favor of approving the minutes for January 2013?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have passed it. Sheriff, anything to bring today? Council?
Yes, sir.
Miss Cindy? Tracy?
I just wanted to let the commission know that in 2012, that the 911 center handled 29,470 incidents, was processed. We handled 23,027 911 calls were received. We had 87,382 admin lines received, and the center made 28,124 outgoing calls for a total number of 138,533 phone calls that was processed through the 911 center last year. So I just wanted to let you know that those
How many of them were emergency calls? 27,000?
29,470 incidents was created. So that was how many different calls were processed that required some type of response through the dispatch. And those could be for emergencies, 911 hang-ups on different calls that was received. And when we receive a 911 hang-up, the dispatcher makes an attempt to call that person back. On some numbers, they are blocked and we cannot do that, but we do make an attempt. And sometimes you'll hear them and they'll be at maybe at Mountaineer Park and they'll accidentally hit their phone, or a child will be playing with those phones. So a lot of those are through that. But as far as receiving our 911 calls being 23,027 calls, probably, what, Lenny? Half of those for the 911 or hang-ups, approximately? A little, maybe 40%?
79 calls.
So that's a lot of calls that was processed. But as far as the 29,000, those were actual incidents that were created and that we have permanent records of.
So 79 calls a day.
28.
Divide that by 2,400.
28,124. Those are outgoing calls that the center had to make.
3 an hour.
A little over 3 an hour.
So on average, with the 911 calls is about 70 calls a day that we receive. So just wanted to give you guys that little update.
Thank you.
Thank you. Rebecca?
The trees, all is well.
Okay. Lynn? Carol?
Just wanted to bring you up to speed on a couple things. We are going to be starting our bank at school program again at Weir Middle School, and we're excited about that. But what I'm even more proud about my 4-Hers right now is yesterday they took part in our annual county roundup, in which they choose to come in and give public speaking demonstrations. And we had everyone from a 7-year-old to an 18-year-old yesterday that came in and did demonstrations. And it's a skill that I really believe is going to help them for a lifetime, learning how to speak in public, give a demonstration, making the props, bringing what they had. And we even had, one girl even brought in her goat, and one brought in a rabbit, and one brought in a dog, and one little girl came in and did ballet for us. And I'm just so proud of them for 7 and 8 years old, for having that kind of guts to come in and speak in front of a group of adults for at least 5 minutes. And they did a wonderful job. and I could not, I mean, I am as proud as a parent, and I can't help it every time I talk about them. Other things going on, yesterday Tracy helped me with a program for Youth Leadership Weirton, in which we facilitated the simulated society exercise for a group of sophomore level students from the 2 counties. The kids do a good job. If any of you have ever participated in the SimSOG activity, you know how difficult it is. And these kids do a really good job, and they work at it just as hard as any group of adults that I've ever facilitated for. Our Master Gardener program is up and running. We're going to be getting them trained again this spring. It's our annual training that we do for 10 weeks. A group of dedicated volunteers who help the community, whether working on if they have problems in their gardens, problems with their landscape, doing some landscape design. And I personally, they have helped me to do my landscaping at my home, so I know how valuable they are. So our programs are going well, up to speed, and again, thank you for all that you do to support our programs. I have incredible staff that have been with me now for 2 years, and we just couldn't be happier over there right now. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Alonzi. Mr. Alonzi, thank you and your staff. Yesterday, we finished the Board of Equalization hearings for February for this year, and we thank you for your professionalism and your staff and the work we did, and we got that all taken care of. So thank you. Mr. Zielinski.
Yes, one comment regarding the legal ad for the grass cutting. This year is something a little bit different than we've done in previous years, and that is a mandatory pre-bid meeting, which is going to be scheduled for March 18th, 2:30 p.m. here in the County Commission office. We want to make sure that all of those who are going to be submitting bids know the proper procedure and what is expected of the county and their performance. It's been a little bit of an issue in the past, and we want to make sure that everybody has and is all on the same page.
Ms. Jackson?
I have nothing today, thank you.
Ms. Allen? Mr. Sorsmiller?
Yes, I would like to talk a little bit about the last meeting as a follow-up about the stemming from Newell and stemming from doing an interview about the county curfew. And I did my homework. I got on the internet. What a wonderful tool it is. I just typed in West Virginia curfew, and I got like 6 million hits, cities, counties, newspaper articles, and I spent my evenings this week reading about it. First of all, it's not called curfew policy anymore. It's called the Youth/Community Protection Policies. And it simply says what it is. It's protecting our youth. It's also protecting our citizens. You know, there shouldn't be a 12-year-old shouldn't be running around at 2 o'clock in the morning. Put some responsibility back on the parents. And I'm still going to continue to do my homework for you for the next meeting. There's so much to filter through. Just if I could take a second here, this was challenged a couple years ago and went to the state Supreme Court. A group of high school students challenged it, and some of the civil liberties unions challenged it, and it did go to the state Supreme Court, and they did uphold the policy, so we can do that. It was a 4-to-1 vote. To be uniform, I think we should course it out. This is going to be in the unincorporated areas because we can't dictate to the cities. But I thought we should contact the cities to see what their policies are and what their times are to be uniform in the time. We wouldn't want 4 different times throughout the week. So I thought it's the first thing we should do. Also, we have to tie this in with the Department of Motor Vehicles. They have some stipulations on teenagers or people under the age of 18 and driving. Matter of fact, Sheriff, I don't think there could be 2 teenagers in 1 car after a certain time of the day.
There's age groups that can't be separated, have to be separated at certain times, yes.
And there's different levels of, I didn't quite understand.
Haven't read that law for a while, but as my recollection is, yes.
So in a nutshell, we would be creating a policy for the unincorporated areas of this county for people under the age of 18, and at a time that we would decide here to be uniform. Usually it's shorter during the week and then longer, like an hour or so longer on the weekends. There's common sense tied into this also. You know, if you're coming back from a school function or a church function, an emergency or an errand for your parents, that would be excused. Looks like law enforcement are the ones that enforce the policies, and the penalties are handled through the magistrate system. And some of them are rather severe. Some of the policies have looked up to $500 fine for the parents. So I'll be writing that up a little bit better for you next time, and we can take a look at that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner. Mr. Davis.
Nothing.
A couple things here. We've had a request to change our next meeting, no, our second meeting after this, a March 21st meeting to March 28th. 1 week's period. I'd accept a motion to do that.
So move.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. We had talked a little bit last commission meeting about clean air and having a report today. The health department will be here at the next meeting to talk about clean air and what they've done for that. Basically, you know, smoking, so that's what we're going to be talking about. We'll bring that up in the next meeting. Lastly, gentlemen, we had some discussions about some property in this community, and I wanted to bring it, you know, we've allowed the county commission to enter into some agreements and some discussions and everything like that. And I have made an offer, which I need you guys to approve if we're going to go through that. We have made an offer on the Dollar General store in New Cumberland. I came through with an offer of $219,000. They came back with an offer of, they counter-offered at $232,000. That would be to take over the building down here, which is now Dollar General, which is moving up on Ridge Avenue. We would take total control that April 30th of this year. Everything will be cleaned out of it down to just bare minimum, whatever there. Which it actually sits, as you know, we've talked about this, it sits next to a piece of property which we own down there already. So it could be used for a couple of instances. We've talked around the courthouse some different things. So that is before you right now. I talked to Mr. Davis this morning. You were in court. Mr. Davis looked over this, assured me that all the paperwork was fine on that, and we could proceed forward with this if we wanted to.
So if we vote on it today, I mean, it's a go?
It's a go.
You're going to contact the realtor? And
absolutely. You can have that.
Thank you.
I move to proceed with the purchase of the property on, do we have Route 2 north of New Cumberland? As quickly as possible.
Any discussions? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Having no further business, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? We are adjourned.
Thank you.